Hey everyone, I wanted to tell you just kind of a little bit about me and my journey, and I felt like this was something that I really felt called to do, especially today, especially right now, because I'm starting to feel that there's an imbalance of energy, and I feel it more keenly now since the last full moon on the 9th. I feel that the imbalance is within me, and I'm starting to wonder if there was ever really truly a balance at all, or perhaps I was bringing the imbalance to the surface so I can kind of sort out and bring harmony within. And it got me to thinking about the divine union and the balance of my own feminine and masculine Shakti and Shiva. And although I've been changing and evolving over the past 2 or so years, one thing really hit me. I'm still very heavy in my masculine energy. I've always been stronger in my masculine aspect. People even noticed, and I was occasionally told I wasn't very girly, or that I was seen as butch or manly, and even was presumed a lesbian because my masculine energy was dominant. I had a mohawk, and I wore flannel and Converse and band t-shirts, and occasionally I wore like fishnets and skirts, but that wasn't even entirely feminine for me. I think that was more of a dominance thing. I kind of just, it was kind of a wall that I put up to be seen as, dangerous, and I always wore the very intentional resting bitch face to kind of keep myself from having people approach me, which was actually oddly enough because I was very shy, and it was because I was scared, and because looking tough was a defense mechanism for me. That whole fake it till you make it thing. Perhaps that was kind of part and parcel of growing up and being raised by a single mother who did everything. And not that that's a bad thing. I mean, that helped me. That made me strong and fearless. And I wouldn't be the person I am today without that solid foundation. It helped me to finally start to look at myself and see my potential and my worth. But it took a while for me to get there. About 30 years. And I know I can't truly grow stuck in this imbalance. But it helped me be more independent. It also kind of disconnected me a great deal from my feminine energy. I was all about independence and planning and organizing and working and making money and, growing and developing and never asking for help. I was convinced that asking for help was a weakness, and that emotions for me were a weakness. And that it only ended up having my anger just bubble up until I explode into a tirade, and it was usually pointed at my mother. And then letting my sadness and my fears and my anxiety build to an inevitable panic attack, where I would cry so hard that I couldn't stop myself, or I couldn't physically pull myself off of the floor. Hyperventilating because it was all so overwhelming. And yes, some of it had to do with the fact that I was an empath. I am an empath, and I didn't know it, and I didn't understand it. But it all boiled down to me not owning and acknowledging and dealing with these emotions that were within me, whether they were internal or external. And I was pushing them down and trying to mask them and pretend that they didn't exist. And this, of course, led to depression. And it wasn't until 2012 when someone put a name to it, what I was feeling. And I want to thank my friend Amber, who told me what being an empath was and introduced me to Reiki. I think that was one of the biggest turning points in my life, when I finally started to face the fear and express more openly. And I was sorting out and becoming more balanced. I started to open up. You know, I was embracing my intuition and nurturing myself so I could help others. And that was because of, you know, introducing yoga into my life, and Reiki and meditation and all of those great things. But I've recently been feeling myself leaning on my masculine energy even more than normal. Probably because I've been single for you know, living on my own and leaving my job and trying to focus on building a career for myself so that I can survive and I can help other people. But still wanting a family and wanting to finally balance that feminine and masculine energy within myself. It's very difficult. At least it is for me. I mean, supporting myself, working, growing, planning, while doing very feminine type work with, you know, my intuition and healing, it can be exhausting. And it's been showing recently in my unwillingness to do certain tasks, like, you know, doing the dishes, laundry, straightening up. And I find that I can't be bothered with them at times. Ooh! Hi! How you doing? You wanted to join in. Because I feel that I can't be bothered with them at times because I feel like there's this drive for me to succeed in my business, and just so I can survive, so I can help other people, and, you know, at the same time help myself. So that's where I am right now. And I know things are getting better. And I know that I've changed drastically in a very positive way. I mean, I see the progress. I mean, I'm actually speaking to strangers about my feelings. And although it gets easier, it doesn't really get easy. And that basically kind of sums up life, to be honest. We're always working and improving. You know, self-improvement never really ends. I guess that's probably why it's not called self-improved. Life really is just one continuous journey. you learn lessons, and then the next day you're faced with a whole new set of obstacles. And I think it's not necessarily about lessening the amount of obstacles, but how you react to them when they come up and how you deal with them. I think that really defines you. And I think nothing in life worth having is easy. And let's face it, easy gets boring really quickly. For me, there's almost nothing more satisfying than meeting an obstacle and then overcoming it. So, this balance of the divine masculine and feminine that I'm working on, I know it will be really rewarding, because I feel that that's the key to meeting your twin flame. So, I want to conquer that, and I want to bring that harmony. And then once you meet your twin flame, it's like, then I'll have a whole new set of lessons to learn. But I say, hey, bring it on. I hope that sharing my story helps you, and I just want you to know to just be patient with yourself, because it'll all come together in time. So just for now, just enjoy the journey. And I want to thank you for tuning in and listening to me and my story. So the next up will be my Divine Union love reading. So I hope that you come back for that.